良い子のみんな、メダロットと勇気爆発バーンブレイバーンのコラボが開催だ。もう一度言う、ブレイバーンだ。ブレイバーン。スマホゲームメダロット S にオリジナルテレビアニメ勇気爆発バーンブレイバーンのキャラクターをイメージしたメダロットが登場するぞ。まずは私と勇気爆発ブレイバーンがモチーフのメダロット。次は押してまいるスペルビオ。さらに私と交わるがいいクーヌス。最後は思考回路が焼き切れそうだよイーラのメダロットだ。さあ勇気爆発バーンブレイバーンとメダロットのコラボが始まるぞ。行くぞイサミ合体だ。
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as you saw, and pretty much as we expected, we do have about a three and a half week gap before we start expecting and anticipating things for the game's 4.5-year anniversary, which is coming up on us pretty quick. And it looks like a lot of our guesses of seeing collaboration sometime between now and then have pretty much been confirmed and realized. This time around, though, it looks like we're going to be collabing with a very special series that started just earlier this year. Bang Brave Bravern, which is a military mecha comedy series. And most certainly, as we've seen with previous collaborations, Medarot is most certainly no stranger to super robots and giant fighting robots, especially as we saw fairly recently with the Go Nagai collaboration with Mazinger Z, Mazinger Kaiser, Shingetter, and so on. So it looks like this is going to be a very fun collaboration. We'll be having 5 models, as you see here, spread out over 3 weeks. And it's going to be a pretty jam-packed 3 weeks. I'm going to be completely forward with you up front, especially since I highly expect as well that we will be seeing a segue pretty much straight from this collaboration into hyping up for the 4.5-year anniversary. So I hope you have been saving on those rubies. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week going forward. Now, there's not a whole lot of, say, new stuff incoming, but it is still going to be a very exciting start to the week and to the start of this collaboration that does begin this coming Thursday. Starting, of course, with the gacha banners, as everything essentially resets for this week and kind of cools back down with all the banners that we've seen. The 2 main ones that we're going to be getting to start us off with the collaboration is BRV Zero Bravern, based on the titular character Bravern, with the kits of Bond Upper, Emit Blade, Bomb Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Adapter. Now, you're going to notice one of 2 things with Bravern right away, and the first of which is he's sporting a completely new kit with everything but leg ability, and they're all incredibly powerful abilities, which I'll just briefly go over in just a second. But as you see here by my note as well, Bravern will also be the very first model in Medarot S's history to feature a skill that actually will capitalize on the Medarotter passives and not their own internal stats. No shoot boost, no melee boost, no fight boost, no nothing. This will be entirely reliant on the Medarotter that is equipped towards Bravern specifically, in a first of its kind of thing. Where normally you only had to focus on the passives just as that, passives and maybe just an extra ability if it's an SR Medarotter. Now you gotta pay some extra close attention to which one you bond with him in order to maximize that ability. To go over the new skills briefly, Bond Upper basically is a triple boost to any Medarotter passives, not the skill reminder, but the passives, in basically any stat that they offer except armor. Not really sure how long that goes for, but it may be for a good 2 to 3 or even 5 turns once it is officially activated. Emit Blade is more or less just a Charge Blade 4.0 at this point, since it is kind of expensive to use, but basically free double damage at any given time means it's basically well worth it. Only drawback is, if you have no charge, you can't use Emit Blade. And Bomb Hammer is finally a melee-based gunpowder skill, since up to this point they were all shooting only. Basically, it's just a gunpowder hammer. Nothing really special over that. So basically, if anyone does have a gunpowder weakness, well, now you have a melee skill you can use to counter with it. The other model that we're going to be seeing this week is at BRV-01 Warrior Pride, who is based on Superbia. And fun fact, by the way, Superbia and Cross Messiah both actually share the same voice actor, Daisuke Ono, and other friendly reminder for those who are not 100% sure who that is also the voice of Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Good luck seeing Cross the same way again after I say that. But anyway, I digress. Warrior Pride is featuring a mostly new kit as well, or at least one new skill and some very powerful ones, with Assault Boost, Cross Shock, Shotgun, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Assault. Now, to put it simply, Warrior Pride is essentially the shin getter for this collaboration. But instead of focusing on AoE type of attacks like a hammer or break rush or anything like that, Warrior Pride will instead focus on scatter attacks. So I really don't think I have to go into detail on what exactly Assault Boost does, since it's basically the same thing. But, for sake of numbers, it is an 80% boost to success of power and success to any scatter type skills used while the buff is in effect. The other models that were being highlighted, which are Pleasure Lust and Frenzy Wrath, we'll be seeing next week with round 2 of the collaboration. And Bang Brave Burn, the final and 5th model of the collaboration, we'll be seeing on the 3rd week as we wrap up the month, going into the month of July. So it's going to be a pretty jam-packed month of June, if I'm being completely real. And like I said, as we crest into going into the 4.5-year anniversary hype-up once this collab ends. Something else to note as well is that we will be seeing boosted rates for Dureza Diechi and D01 and KWG XX Maquette for the particular boosted bots for both Brave Burn and Warrior Pride this week. Just as a friendly reminder, rerun banners kind of don't exist anymore as of the most recent patch and change to the gacha pool. So instead of Dureza Diechi and Maquette having their own banners, what will really happen is they're going to have boosted rates in both Brave Burn and Warrior Pride's banners. So you'll have a chance at collecting either of them while you're going after either of these two. Going forward with the Fierce Battles this week, there is also a +1 here that I did not include since he's kind of there a month, and that is CLA-01 Kanahachi Mark II, which is triple hold, sea legs, and the Mariner leg ability. But this week in particular, we'll be seeing highlights for the new Fierce Battles to segue us into this event. Starting us off on this top row, we're starting off with TND-0 Tank Dunk, with Napalm, Missile, Gatling, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Bullet Rain. We also see APL-01 Top Gunner with Radar Sight, Double Missile, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Aim. And then MDZ-0 Meduzard with Freeze, Sword, Counter Guard, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of P-Loader. On this bottom row, we're starting off with OWL-03 Minerova, with Laser, Freeze Shot, Press, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Torturer. We'll be also having SGT-0 Sagittarius with Suction, Defense, and Evade Seal, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Hidden. And then we also have KIN-0 Kintaro, everyone's favorite champion, with Press, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Endurance. Now when it comes to the Fierce Battles this week, I mean, I say this with every week because it honestly is true. We have a lot of very wide use, wide variety skills that can be had and collected at any given time. So, to seasoned veterans, this may not seem like a whole lot of anything that's really worth going after or raising, but this is more geared toward a lot of rookies and newcomers that are just starting up and looking to collect parts in their libraries. They all feature some very powerful skills or very useful skills that can be used early on to help curb you that advantage, especially in the harder fights while you're still learning. Some examples include Sagittarius with Defense and Evade Seal to guarantee that hits land and crit if you do need that early on, especially when you're still trying to make use of attacks that can't pierce right away. Minarova, of course, will be the MVP of the week, primarily for free shot, not just for how versatile it is on pretty much any team, but also for the fact on females, it does add a lot more variety to ailment fighting, and the ability to stop enemies in their tracks for free hits and crits, especially to help you early on while you're still learning. So it's very obvious that she is the MVP of the week, but it is also worth noting that all 7, including Kanahachi Mark II, are still worth farming just for the sake of having their parts on hand. Whether you choose to use them after that, that's going to be entirely up to you. Now, of course, as it is expected with collaboration, we also have collaboration Medarotters that will be joining the fray for a short time as well. This time around, though, we only have 2, which will be featuring Arase and Hisaki, both in cosplay outfits featuring from the series Bravern itself. This time around, though, for the limited time skins and abilities that they offer, Arase will be offering you a boost in CG gain when attacking by times 2.5, which may not seem like a lot at first glance, but as a friendly reminder, for Hunter and Sniper Nature medals specifically, if you break something, that is 15% charge per part broken up when you attack. So if you obviously boost that up, that's easily 45% right there, between 30 and 40% easily, with just one attack if you break just one part. So this is going to be very useful if you want to break parts early, or if you know you can, and if you want to specialize in people that are primarily Metaforce reliant. Hisaki, on the other hand, is pretty much a skill that we've seen a pretty fair handful of times already, but it's still a very useful skill all the same. Upon activation, it's basically like a Holy Guard, which upon being attacked will prevent armor from all parts from falling to a certain percentage. I believe fully capped at level 3, that means the parts will not fall beyond 50% HP, basically for that one hit that you'll be tanking. So this will be really good for your shielders in particular, or anyone of that same vein that wants to try to stay healthy as often as possible. Especially from turn 2 onwards, when that first round of shields wears off, you can use this to kind of buy yourself an extra turn or two, and just guarantee that you don't lose any HP significantly while your shielder is doing their job. These, along with the collaboration model, will be sticking around until I'd say about early mid-July, at about July 11th next month, so that you have plenty of time to go after them if none of the models particularly tickle your fancy. With the event itself, it's going to be pretty jam-packed this week. I'm going to be completely real with you. We have lots of rewards that we can earn just in this first wave alone. In this wave, we have an opportunity to earn the Wolf Medal, which has a mastery in melee, support, and defense, and leg masteries in biped, flight, and sea. And because it is a Hunter Nature medal, this does mean that it can capitalize on a lot of CG gain very easily if you like breaking parts quickly. Just a friendly tip to keep in mind. In addition, we can also earn 2 profile banners featuring Bravern and Superbia, as you see here, and I expect we'll be seeing even at least 2 or 3 more over the coming weeks featuring Pleasure Lust, Frenzy Wrath, and of course Bang Bravern itself as the collaboration continues. You can also earn special PvP and event tickets, and to explain the PvP tickets specifically, it's kind of its own thing where it's basically the permanent pool plus the 3 highlighted bots that are being highlighted in the online PvP for the skins. Plus, I think maybe a handful of others based on confirmation, but that's not 100% confirmed or guaranteed. We will have to see the pool when it does come out. We also can earn event tickets, which will give us chances at the permanent pool, plus the highlighted, or boosted rates, I should say, going forward for any particular bots that will be seeing boosted rates over the course of this month. Dureza Diechi and Maquette, 2 such examples. And we can also earn special voice lines featuring Brave Bird and Warrior Pride that we can listen to in the sound library in your settings. Unfortunately, I didn't hear a lot of people say anything about a Row Battle announcer narration, which did kind of suck, but honestly still going to be very nice rewards all the same, and most certainly worth capitalizing on. This event, however, will be milestone based, so we're going to be kind of taking a step back from this last couple weeks' Meta Meister event, which actually I really did like, going off on a tangent for just a little bit. I really did like the Meta Meister event that we had for the Medarot DS anniversary. It was very simple. It gave you one level at a time. When you complete it and got the rewards, you were one and done. Didn't have to touch it again till the next day. Very easy, very simple, something you really didn't have to put a lot of time into. And I am looking forward and hopeful to see those events come back in the future. Anyway, back to the collaboration. As I said, this one will be milestone based though, so pure sets will be encouraged across the board as you build your teams to capitalize on bonuses. Of course, Bravern and Superbia will give you that top bonus at 15% each per part. Maquette, Doreza, Dieci, and Attractor, who is one of the PvP models for this month with the bonus skins, will give you a 10% bonus per part. And the Fierce Battles plus Kanahachi Mark II will give you a 6% bonus per part each. For the Medarotters, it is 10% per each of per either of the SR Collab Medarotters for Arase and Hisaki. It'll be a 5% bonus for the SR standard versions of those two plus Iku, or it'll be a 3% bonus for those three at R rank or 1% N. I don't think aside from the Collab Medarotters, this really should be a really hard event to collect for, especially since most of these models are pretty readily available, and like I said, since Attractor is a spotlight, there's a good chance you've probably gotten at least one part, if not the entire set of her early on. Within your first, I don't know, 5 or 6 multi-polls in the gacha, you'll probably would have been spooked by her at least once, so you'll have at least something to capitalize on with your bonuses. Now, we are also getting a limited time Super Invasion, or at least the first of at least 2 or 3 waves with the collaboration as well. Very likely this is just going to feature overclocked medals and maybe one other simple modifier, so go in with your best teams, make quick work of it, and walk out of there with your free rubies and your profile banner. In addition, we also have event missions coming back as well to earn additional ruby shards and event tickets as well, which I did highlight in the main event thing as well, so you have more chances at that permanent pool plus, boosted raid spots. So, honestly, the event missions are super easy as well. Go in, complete the event a certain number of times in that particular run of the week, and basically you can walk out with free rewards. I mean, who doesn't like free stuff? Let's be real. You're welcome to use the tickets right away, or you can save them all for multi-bursts of 10 at a time. It's completely up to you. And we're also getting more tickets in the daily login over the next 2 weeks as well, so you have plenty of time to stock up if you do find yourself with a particularly good resistance of that temptation. One last thing to mention as well, and we didn't know too much about this initially when it was first announced, but now that it's come back again, I'm actually really excited to talk about this in just a little more detail. But about a week, 2 weeks ago, we got our first run of the 48-hour Start Dash banner. And I explained briefly what it was, but now I can clarify properly on what exactly it is and what you can expect from it. Basically, it is a very specialized and unique paid banner, which means you can only use paid rubies for it. Just for conversion's sake, I did put that here as well. One roll in there, which is all you get, is about $23 US dollar. Normally, I tend not to advocate for buying stuff in gacha games, as it's usually a very bad habit. But basically, what that $23 will give you is one free multi-pull of basically all limited time pickup units from 2023 and older, which is basically almost all of them minus the last 6 months. All very powerful ones, of course. Which also feature the same standard rates. So one multi-pull will guarantee you at least one full set of somebody, whether you have them or not. In addition to that standard pull, you not only walk out with at least one full set and a bunch of missed parts from previous pickup models, you also get a very specialized ticket that you can redeem in the convenience store in its own special tab. This specialized ticket allows you to redeem it for a unit of choice from that same pool of 2023 and older pickup models. This includes, as examples, Gothic Mate, Kreutz Bison, Particle, Rain, Sonic Stag, or even the 7 Lucky Gods as well. Lots and lots and lots of wonderful choices, very powerful bots that is basically a unit of choice, like I said. Really, like I said, I tend not to advocate for wanting to purchase stuff or use in-app purchases for gacha games, but if it were my personal opinion, all that for $23, I'd say is actually a really good deal. Especially with the yen conversion being so low right now, it really won't break the bank for you to even just pick up a 30 rupee bundle for that 23, like I said, use it on this banner, and just call it a day with whatever you get, plus your unit of choice. But of course, I will finish that with the premise and the warning of spend wisely and don't advocate for that any other time. But anyway, I digress. Moving on to community-based stuff, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. Right now, Medarot 3 is still in its tentative completion stage, mostly just some bug fixes and some grammar changes, but that's about it at this point. We'd love to start working on other projects like Medarots 4 and 5 and Navi, but we do need the manpower to do so. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, or if you have some time on your hands, definitely feel free to reach out to us or join our Discord in the link provided below to ask around, talk about it, and we can definitely fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. From the debuggers and the beta testers that I've heard from in that channel, honestly, Medarot 3 has been a fantastic story from start to finish, and everyone that has played it has absolutely fallen in love with it. I am looking forward to being able to play that myself, either on a stream or on my own time. We will have to see what I decide going forward, and, of course, as time allows. Now, at the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, for those that were unaware, we celebrated a birthday last week. No, not last week, as in, like, actually, we celebrated 2 birthdays last week, if I'm being real with you. The first of which was, of course, my dear friend Ruben, which I highlighted with a very specialized banner that I drew and spent a few days working on. But we also celebrated another birthday on Thursday at the on Patch Day, and that is for our resident Learjet gamer girl, metatuber Leah Lila, who also was given a version 3 form featuring a much more elegant aerial bird-like design, and lots of very powerful skills to be had. So I really couldn't let this week slide without highlighting at least 1 or 2 pieces to celebrate her birthday and her debut. This one here by Twitter user Drumpazzo, of course highlighting her enjoying her usual hobby of gaming. And this one here by my very dear friend Moen, who did a very beautiful, and I love the pieces that they do, all their very soft art that they work on and that they've released. Very wonderful art. Highlighting, of course, the original, or at least Leah 2 anyway, with a birthday bouquet. So I do hope that Leah-chan had a very great birthday last week as well on her own time, especially with her streaming just a little bit last week to celebrate with that as well. One other final note to mention as well, just as a friendly reminder, I am open for commission, so if you are looking for a live 2D model ready to rig, unfortunately I have not learned that mastery just yet. 3D models can be fully rigged, model textured, UV mapped, and more for basically drag and drop in any program of your choice. I can do standard 2D art of varying degrees of level and complexity, and I can do emotes, all fairly affordable as you see here. And I want to try to keep it that way on purpose for especially new folks that are looking to maybe start up a package on their own without having to break the bank to do so. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or on Discord if you want to ask about that and inquire, and we can most certainly try to make something happen. And with me hosting art streams more and more often, if I do get an art commission of some degree, whether it be a live 2D model or standard art, or emotes, whichever one they prefer, I am more than happy to stream those as well if you'd like to follow my progress. On the topic of commissions and streams, I really do need to create a background and a page for that. I need to get around to it. But anyway, I am actually going to be hosting 2 additional streams, live streams this week as well, since I have a pretty surprisingly large number of days off this week. Tomorrow, June 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be playing the demo of Goblin Cleanup, which my friends and I saw passing on Twitter the other day. Basically, it's visceral cleanup, but instead you are in an RPG dungeon, playing against a bunch of goblins that are basically in charge of cleaning the dungeon up before the next group of heroes comes in. Looks to be like a lot of fun shenanigans, and I did round up some buddies of mine, Not Drunk Games, Steel, and Mars to join me on that endeavor. Feel free to tune in tomorrow if you'd like to see us try to not die and make more of a mess as we try to clean up the mess already there. And on Friday, June 14th, also at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be hosting a Kura Draws art stream. I did get a commission fairly recently, so I'll be using that time to work on that. So if you'd like to tune in on either of these, here's the dates, here's the times, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll be able to keep track of those when I do officially go live or make those announcements. But with all that being said, I believe that covers basically everything for this week's episode. Again, it's not a lot of heavy stuff per se. It's going to be exciting with the collaboration for sure, but we're going to be seeing a lot more stuff as this month progresses through June, and especially as we press towards the end going into the hype up for the 4.5-year anniversary. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there as well that I do also manage, and is currently skyrocketed well past 25,000 members, and I'm just so proud at how fast that community is growing. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes, or anything else of the like. That's the first place you're going to hear about it before it goes anywhere else on the net. You can also follow me on Twitter at ItsuGamiKura. If you have any questions or feedback or comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello, I leave my DMs open on purpose for that very reason. So don't be a stranger, stop on in, say hello, drop a line, and I'll get to you when I can. This additionally applies if you'd like to possibly host a collaboration with me sometime. This includes maybe stopping in here at the news desk with me and report on the meta news with me one week, or if you'd like to have me stop in on your channel for a friendly game or a chat or even a collaboration game, I would love to coordinate with you. Feel free to reach out to me in those DMs and we'll certainly try to coordinate schedules and make something happen. Lastly, do give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well, first of which is my dear friend Utahime at Utahime00. Now, they don't do a whole lot of Medarot content in recent per se, they're more of a PokeTuber as they recently branched out and did their own thing. But fairly recently in the last week, they just celebrated 1 year of content creation. And that's honestly a huge milestone, and I just wanted to take a minute to highlight that and kind of gush about my friend and say congratulations to them. So, my friend, if you are watching this, congratulations on 1 year, and here's to many more years as a content creator. You also give KanamiKana7 a follow as well. I've highlighted their art in the past as well for the wonderful, I'm just going to call it daily life with a Medarot art that I see on my feed, and I just love, I love seeing that art. When it comes to Medarot art, all we see mostly is just combat, battle damage, and anything of the like, but nothing of maybe like the everyday life side of it, which is an entire genre of art that is not often touched on in the Medarot realm. And I love seeing that in my feed, and if you'd like to see more of it, definitely give them a follow as well. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.